Marvel needed something. They were bought by Disney, and they needed something to put out. They needed a full structure and something that would make fans to keep on coming back, to keep on watching their stuff. And they started with Iron Man, the first Avenger, and basically people loved the Iron Man. People want to watch more Iron Man, and Disney saw an opportunity when they hired Kevin Feige to helm this entire project and the future of the MCU. So Disney gave um, Kevin Feige the full authority to do whatever it pleased, which was to start this thing called the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So all those comic they didn't take from this particular comic. I'm not going to argue with you as a fan of the movie. All I know is that for the past God knows how many years, the MCU as a Marvel has been the one to be releasing good and great projects that we all love, and you can't deny that. It doesn't matter where you stand. It doesn't matter your political thing. Nope. Marvel has obviously been the one that has been doing the good thing. So the first project Marvel released was Captain America: The First Avenger, which had Chris Hemsworth as the so I said Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans as the first. Sorry, okay, no, sorry. Yeah, I think you see what I'm saying. I still have like a lot of things to learn. So the first project they released was Iron Man, and that was May 2nd, 2008. I don't really think the thing made that much of a money to consider it. Like it's made money, but it wasn't like $1 billion thing. Yeah, it grossed to 585 worldwide. So I knew that it wasn't that big. And what was the budget of Iron Man? Oh, I'd never even completed Iron Man budget. What was the budget of Iron Man budget? That's something. This is probably my app with this thing. So it had a budget of $140 million, and though it made money, but it wasn't like the biggest thing in the entire world. It was just something that was okay, and you realize that it seems that there's a future. That same year, they released the Incredible Hulk. That was a Bruce Banner one. I think Iron Man was also in this the Incredible Hulk. So let's go right. Let's go right. Um, that same year, they released the Incredible Hulk. So the Incredible Hulk was like this. It's not really a sequel to Incredible Hulk, but it was like a reboot to the Hulk. So the first Hulk we had was like a very ravage Hulk that doesn't have to control his emotion and just keep on walking and jamming and smashing thing. And I also want to believe that this Hulk thing was also not like a box office thing, but it was enough. Also, yeah, the Incredible Hulk grossed $264.8 million worldwide. So that one too wasn't really like the biggest thing ever, but it was enough for them to take a pause and realize that okay, what can we do? Then they released Iron Man 2 sequel, and let's check Iron Man 2 box office. It had 623.2, and the budget was like $200 million. So you see, these movies during the phase one of the Infinity Saga, the Marvel MCU phase. All those movies, they were not the biggest thing in the world, but at least they were stuff that Marvel was able to look at and say that we have something here. We have fans. Fans want this thing. Fans love this thing. So what can we do? What can we? How can we build this thing forward? And they started off this. Let's start the phase one, the phase two, and people start moving to Marvel. People start moving to the MCU because there was something to look forward to. There was always at the end of the movie there is this end credit that leads to something that's going to happen in the future. So there's something there, and people love it. Now, um, interestingly, fans also find this kind of thing relatable because it was something they wanted. Like if you grow up reading comics and you're watching a particular set of cartoons and everything, the thing becomes cringy the older you grow up that people start to look at you as weird. Friends start to look at you some friends start to look at you some type of way. So when they start this structure of let's do this thing this way, let's modernize this stuff, people were like, now I can be fans of comics, I can be fans of these movies. And they pioneered this system that people want to be part of something big. They want to be part of this thing called the comic book movie universe because it's something that everyone was now part of. Every actor want to be part of the MCU. They want to be part of Marvel. They want to be part of Disney. Every fan want to call themselves um they want to call themselves nuts because it's cool. When you know what's going on, when you go on a date and you're telling your girlfriend the history of Iron Man, they are going to listen because it's not something to be shy of. So they pioneered this stuff that people wanted, and over the years, people became fans for this kind of thing. That's why now there are more Marvel fans than there are DC. Now, you can argue that maybe there are more DC fans or there are more Marvel fans. The truth is that Marvel is the thing that everyone wants to be part of because it's more cooler, it's more relatable, it's more, yeah, I'm a Marvel fan, so there's nothing to be ashamed of. But if you're a DC fan, over the years something became weird. So now let's move on to DC. Let's talk about what exactly happened with DC. DC, they it all started with this Christopher Nolan. I think I wrote like a few history. It's really not make it doesn't really make any sense, but basically, Christopher Nolan just came out writing the Dark Knight, and he has done his trilogy. And Warner Brothers was like, "Yo, we need money, so what do? We go to Christopher Nolan and we ask him that, can you make Superman?" And he was like, I don't want to do superhero stuff. So what do I do? He just went to I think no. I think what happened was David S. Goya actually was on that pitch Superman to Christopher Nolan, which was his friend. And his friend was like, I just want to do superhero stuff. What can I do? And he he met like he met with the Warner Bros executive and they were like, you can go ahead, make your stuff, let's see what you got. And they wrote the good script for Man of Steel, and the next thing they had to do was they had to bring in someone that could someone that could direct it. So Christopher Nolan sat down as a producer, then Goya as a writer, and Zack Snyder as a director. Now, Zack Snyder had this dream of something epic and something modern. It's the The interesting thing about stuff like this is that they are a result of their time. So when people mention and when the people you are talking to people that are into comic book industry, it's something like Silver Age, Silver Age, Silver Age, Silver Age. I don't see anything interesting about the Silver Age. But the thing about the nostalgia about it is that it's a result of their time, and people of that time found it, at least the writer of that time found it something that can relate to the younger audience and can also create a sense of dynamic and sense of something interesting, something unique to the older audience. Now, it's not the normal movie you are fond of. It's not the normal books you are fond of. It's a graphic novel about someone wearing a pants outside with a red cape and he's flying. Also, at the time, he's hopping and there's this kind of over exaggerated reality. So, as a young one, you might want to be interested in it, and as someone that's older, you might want to be interested. Now, another thing that I learned about the history about this silver eye thing is that during that time, some of those comics had a kind of messaging to it, whether it's leaning to one particular political spectrum to another political spectrum. They want you to be part of the military. They want you to love your country. They want you to see your country as like, oh, this thing doesn't really matter what you think about it. All I know is that at that time there was a particular direction culture was shifting. Now, whether or not you go back in time and see that, oh, that thing is bad or that thing is great, let's go back to that thing, let's stay away from that thing. It doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that at that time there was something that was there, and the 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 people that were pushing culture was pushing what they feel was great for that time. Now, Zack Snyder on the other hand saw that I can push what is great for this particular time, which was the epicness, the, the brooding Superman, the Superman that feels that he has the weight of the shoulder around him, and any small outburst he can destroy the entire planet. So he kept to himself. And I'm not going to lie, Man of Steel was great. It's like when you're talking about a superhero movie, someone like myself can watch. If it's between, I should go back to the Christopher Reeves movie. No matter how much you want to hype it, and you put Zack Snyder on, and you put Christopher Reeves on, someone my age would always choose the Zack Snyder one because it feels modern. You can see it from the CGI, you can see it from the way the characters interact, the way the character behave. So it feels like something that was made for that particular time. And this is the interesting thing I love about this conversation. I find it weird and I also love it is that the way older people talk about this superhero thing, you would think that, oh, we are still living, those movies were made last week. But the thing is that they relate to those particular thing as of that time. You look at Zack Snyder movies and it's something that you feel that this is my thing. You relate to it. It was made for you, and you chose to love it, and obviously it's going to be your thing. But when people go about and they go like, um, this particular age is goofy, I'm like, it's not for you. You don't have to love it. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing you've ever seen in life. Obviously, it wasn't made for you. The people that it was made for love it. It doesn't matter where you stand in the comic book argument. It doesn't matter what side you are on. That thing was made for the people it was made for, and that was not you.